You wake up in the morning, make your regular coffee, and within 2 hours, that energy you felt when you woke up has disappeared as yet. You need another coffee and then another. And yet, by mid-morning, you're feeling that brain fog that's preventing you from concentrating on anything. What most men don't realize is that the problem isn't the coffee. The problem is what you're not putting in it. Recent research from universities in Canada and the United States shows that there are 3 simple ingredients that, when added to your coffee, can transform the way your body produces and uses energy at a cellular level. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what these 3 ingredients are, why science shows they work, and how you can start using them tomorrow. No changes to your routine, no expensive supplements, no complicated diets, just a small tweak to do the coffee you already drink every morning. And what I'm about to share with you is not theory. There are men who have been doing this for weeks and are reporting a difference they never expected. Men who spent years believing their tiredness was simply aging. Men who discovered that their morning ritual could be much more powerful than they imagined. Because you know that feeling, needing 2 or 3 coffees before 11 and still feeling like your brain is functioning at half speed, Lamoid. Like there's a permanent fog behind your eyes. Waking up feeling like you haven't rested at all, like you've only slept for 2 hours, even though you've spent 8 in bed. Getting to 3 in the afternoon and feeling so down that all you want to do is sit on the couch. Your body is craving sugar, something sweet, anything to give you a boost, which lasts for 20 minutes and then leaves you worse off than before. Trying to concentrate on a simple task, reading an article, reviewing some invoices, and realizing that you've read the same paragraph 3 times without retaining anything. And the thing you don't tell anyone, the anger with yourself, the shame of not being able to keep up, the silent fear that this isn't just tiredness, but something more serious, and the belief that you repeat yourself every morning is normal at my age. After 50, everyone is tired, but that belief is wrong because there are men aged 55, 60, even 65 who wake up every morning with a clarity, with a sustained energy and a desire to get things done. And there are others of the same age with perfect tests who drag fatigue around like a lead backpack from the moment they open their eyes. The difference is not genetic. It is not luck. It is a pattern hidden in something as simple as the way they drink their coffee. I am Carmen Navarro. For more than 20 years, I have been researching and sharing scientific studies on men's health to help make informed decisions. What I have observed time and time again is that the men who complain the most about lack of energy after 50 are not those who take the least care of themselves. They are those who believe that their morning coffee routine is enough. And that is precisely where the problem and the pueblo lie. Today, you're going to understand why your body responds to coffee differently than it did 20 years ago. You're going to discover 3 mistakes you probably make every morning without realizing it, and you're going to learn about 3 specific ingredients that can change the way you way you experience energy throughout the day. This is important because it's not about drinking more coffee, it's about making the coffee you're already drinking work for you instead of against you. Now that you understand why this topic is worth your attention, I'm going to show you how your energy system really works on the inside. And when you understand it, everything will fall into place. Envision that inside every one of your cells, there's a miniature power plant. They are called mitochondria. When you were young, you had thousands of these power plants running at full power, converting the food you ate into pure energy, what scientists call ATP. Your coffee would go into your system and those power plants would respond instantly. More voltage, more clarity, more strength. Think of it this way. It's like a perfectly balanced electrical grid. Every cell in your body is a building connected to that grid. Your muscles, your brain, your heart, they all get the electricity they need at just the right time. in coffee acts like a switch that turns the lights on faster. Everything worked because the power plants were in tip-top shape, but after age of 50, something starts to change. Studies published in journals like Frontiers in Physiology indicate that mitochondrial efficiency can significantly decrease with age. It's not that you have fewer power plants, it's that they're running at half power or more. Imagine that each power plant that used to produce 100 watts is now producing 60. The grid is still working, but there's no longer enough voltage to power all the buildings. And do you know what your body does when the power plants aren't producing enough power? It starts rationing. It reduces the energy available for concentration, motivation, the ability to enjoy things. So it's not just physical fatigue, it's a general decrease in your vitality. And there's another problem, your brain, which consumes 20% of all your energy, even though it only accounts for 2% of your weight, starts having trouble metabolizing glucose after age 50. The building that needs the most electricity is precisely the one that is getting the least. That explains the brain fog. That explains why you read the same paragraph 3 times without retaining any of it. And what happens when you pour black coffee into this aging system? Caffeine gives you a quick spike, followed by a sharp crash. Without the right top factors, you are forcing a worn-out power plant to produce more without giving it the fuel it needs. It's like stepping on the gas pedal of a car without oil in the engine. The good news is that these power plants aren't broken, they are worn out. And with the right cofactors, they can return to a level they probably haven't felt in years. If you think information like this should reach more men, leave a like and subscribe. Your support helps this content reach those who need it most. Now that you understand how your energy system works, I need to show you the 3 mistakes that over 70% of men make every morning with their coffee without realizing it. And the first one may surprise you. These are the obstacles that are blocking your path to real and sustained energy. 3 habits that seem harmless, but that can be sabotaging your energy system every morning. The first obstacle is called the empty cup. Drink your coffee on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. You get up, go to the kitchen, make your coffee black and drink it standing up, looking out the window or checking your phone before any food has even touched your stomach. It's what you've done all your life. And it makes sense. You want to wake up quickly. Coffee activates the system. Eating something at that time seems unnecessary or even counterproductive if you're watching your weight. Plus, in Spain, drinking coffee black on an empty stomach is almost a sacred ritual. Everyone does it. How could it be a problem? Studies show that when caffeine enters an empty stomach, it stimulates a rapid release of the stress hormone cortisol. This causes a spike in glucose followed by an equally sharp crash. The result, a 45 minus 60-minute energy spike followed by fatigue, irritability, and brain fog. Over time, this pattern can contribute to insulin resistance, further reducing your ability to produce sustained energy. Okay. Going back to the power plant analogy, it's like turning on all lights in a building at once without checking to see if the generator has enough fuel. But the second mistake is even more insidious because it masquerades as a healthy choice. It's called the sweet treat in disguise. Adding sugar, saccharin, or even honey to your coffee, thinking it's just a teaspoon. Many men who have eliminated sugar from their diet still add 2 teaspoons to each cup. 3 to 4 cups a day adds up to 6 to 8 teaspoons a day in coffee alone. And honey, being natural, seems like a healthy alternative. The problem is that a teaspoon 3 times a day, every day, for months and years has a cumulative effect that no one can calculate. Research published in Diabetes Research and Clinical Practice shows that repeated spikes in glucose, even small ones, contribute to progressive insulin resistance. Every time you add sugar, you force your pancreas to release insulin. That insulin quickly lowers your glucose, which your brain interprets as a need for more energy. And then comes the 11 a.m. craving, the 3 p.m. crash shatter bash. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. More sugar, more spikes, more crashes, less actual energy. It's like giving your system an electric shock every hour instead of a steady stream of fuel. The third mistake is the one I see most often in men who are really trying to do the right thing. And this is where it gets interesting. It's called the gas pedal with no brakes. Drinking coffee all day long with no time limit. That last shot at 5, 6, even 7 p.m., thinking that coffee doesn't affect my sleep. Caffeine tolerance creates a false sense of security. You fall asleep without a problem, so you assume there are no negative effects. But caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours. A coffee at 5 p.m. means you still have half of that caffeine circulating by midnight. Studies show that even if you fall asleep, the quality of deep sleep can be significantly reduced. And it's during deep sleep that your body repairs tissue, consolidates memory, balances hormones, and recharges those mitochondrial powerhouses. Think of it this way. During the day, your powerhouses are working nonstop. At night, during deep sleep, they go into maintenance mode. But if caffeine prevents them from going into that mode, they wake up the next day more exhausted, and you feel it. You wake up tired, you drink more coffee, you sleep worse. It's a vicious cycle that closes in on itself every night. Let me tell you the story of Antonio. He's 62 years old. He was a high school teacher for over 30 years, and now he's retired. Antonio had been complaining for 8 years that he no longer had any energy. He would wake up at 7, make his coffee on an empty stomach, and by 10, he needed another manton. By 3 in the afternoon, he was lying on the couch without the energy to go for a walk with his wife. He went to the doctor 3 times. Perfect tests. Normal blood pressure. Everything was fine for his age. They told him it was normal for him to rest more. Antonio accepted that explanation. But deep down, he felt angry with himself every time he cancelled a plan and What Antonio didn't know was that he was making 2 of the 3 mistakes at the same time. Coffee on an empty stomach, an empty cup, and 4 teaspoons of sugar spread over his 3 coffees. The sweet treat in disguise. His body was on a glucose roller coaster that was robbing him of the energy he thought the coffee was giving him. The hardest part was accepting that something so simple could be behind 8 years of tiredness. Are you telling me it's because of how I drink my coffee? Sometimes the most powerful answers are hidden in the smallest habits. The information you're receiving is educational and is not. It's not a substitute for medical advice. If your symptoms are persistent, the most responsible step is to speak with a healthcare professional who can assess your individual situation now. Now that we have identified the obstacles, let me show you the 3 steps to transformation. They are simpler than you might think and do not require you to change your life. Just 3 ingredients and less than an extra 8 minutes each morning. The first step is called the cinnamon shield. Add half a teaspoon of saline cinnamon directly to your coffee each morning. Why does it work? Meta-analysis published in Phytotherapy Research in 2024 that 24 clinical trials suggest that cinnamon can significantly reduce fasting glucose levels and insulin resistance. The mechanism appears to involve activating GLUT4 receptors that improve glucose transport into cells. In practical terms, cinnamon helps the energy from coffee to be distributed more steadily without the sudden spikes and crashes. How can we implement this tomorrow? Buy some Ceylon cinnamon, the kind that comes in thin, light, colored roll sticks, not the coarser, darker cassia cinnamon. In the morning before you brew your coffee, add half a teaspoon to the filter or directly to your cup. You don't need more than that. Many men report that within the first 2 weeks, they notice that their energy from coffee lasts longer. Instead of a 1-hour spike followed by a crash, they experience a smoother activation that lasts for 2 to 3 hours. They also report fewer mid-morning sweet cravings. The next solution is just as powerful and can be used in conjunction with the first. It's called silent fuel mea. Add 1 teaspoon of MCT oil or extra virgin coconut oil to hot coffee. Add oil or froth with a milk frother. Why does it work? Research from the University of Sherbrooke in Canada published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease showed that MCTs are rapidly converted into ketones in the liver. These ketones are an alternative fuel for the brain that doesn't rely on glucose. Brain imaging studies and the imaging technique that allows the brain to see how it uses energy in real time show that participants who consumed 30 grams of MCTs daily significantly increased their brain energy metabolism by doubling brain ketone consumption without affecting glucose utilization. Blocks. A systematic review in the BMC Geriatric 2022 found that MCT supplementation was associated with improved cognitive outcomes in most studies of older adults in Zimbabwe. Remember, your brain is your biggest electricity user. Ketones are like a backup generator, giving you an extra source of energy exactly when you need it most. How to implement this tomorrow? Start with a small teaspoon of MCT oil or virgin coconut oil in hot coffee. Stir well for 30 seconds. If you have a handheld milk frother, use that. It creates a nice creamy texture. Important. Start small to avoid digestive discomfort. Gradually increase to a tablespoon after the first week if you tolerate it well. Many men report sustained mental clarity that they have not experienced with coffee alone. Energy doesn't come in a spike, but rather as a steady wave that lasts for hours. The third solution addresses something that many men completely ignore. It has nothing to do with direct energy, but rather how your body absorbs all of the above. It's called the invisible repair. Add a spoonful of hydrolyzed collagen peptides to your coffee equivalent. It dissolves completely without altering its flavor or texture. Why does it work? According to research published in Nutrients, hydrolyzed collagen is already denatured, so the heat in the coffee doesn't affect its effectiveness. What it does is twofold. First, it provides amino acids that support the repair of joints, tendons, and connective tissue, especially irrelevant after 50, when natural collagen production significantly decreases. Second, and this is where it connects to everything we've talked about, adding protein to coffee slows down the absorption of caffeine, softening the energy spike and extending its effect over time. Protein also stabilizes glucose levels by working in synergy with cinnamon. If cinnamon is the voltage regulator and MCTs are the backup generator, collagen is the preventative maintenance of the entire grid. How to implement this tomorrow? Buy unflavored hydrolyzed collagen peptide powder at say. Add a scoop to your hot coffee tomorrow morning and stir well for 30 seconds. If any lumps form, use a handheld frother. It doesn't alter the flavor. And you can add it along with the cinnamon and MCT oil to create your complete 1-cup boosted coffee legacy. Many men report that after 3 to 4 weeks, they notice improved joint mobility, especially when waking up in the morning. That stiffness from the first few hours starts to diminish so much. The energy from coffee is more evenly distributed with the protein source. Some also report improvements in skin and hair quality as an added benefit. Now, let me tell you Miguel's story. He's 57 years old and is the manager of a hardware store in Castilla. Miguel heard about the 3 ingredients and skeptically decided to give them a try. Another thing that wasn't going to work, he thought. He took it step by step. The first week, he added half a teaspoon of cinnamon and eliminated the sugar. The second, he added virgin coconut oil. The third, he added collagen. The first few days, he didn't notice much, but around day 10, something changed. He arrived at 12 noon without having thought about a second coffee. At 3 in the afternoon, instead of reaching for a sweet treat, he simply kept working. It wasn't a dramatic moment. It was the absence of the slump that he had accepted as normal for years. His wife was the first to notice. One Saturday afternoon, Miguel was standing in the garden fixing a fence instead of lying on the couch. "Why aren't you lying down today?" she asked him. In 6 weeks, he walked 40 minutes every afternoon, something he hadn't done since the age of 45, not out of obligation, but because his body craved it. He had the energy and the desire. The hardware store no longer seemed like a battlefield where he had to survive until closing time. It was his lifelong business, and I found myself enjoying it again. His quote says it all. "My body wasn't broken. I was just unknowingly feeding it the wrong fuel every morning." And that's exactly what I want you to understand today. Your body is not broken. Your energy is not gone forever. What you need to do is give your energy system the cofactors it's been asking for years. Let's put it all together. Today's journey has been eye-opening, and now you have the pieces so the transformation can begin. First, we understood that after 50, your cellular powerhouses, the mitochondria, need specific cofactors to produce energy efficiently, and that your brain needs alternative fuel when glucose is no longer sufficient. Second, we identified 3 silent mistakes that most men make every morning. The empty cup, coffee on an empty stomach that spikes cortisol and creates a glucose roller coaster. The candy in disguise, sugar that fuels the cycle of peaks and troughs, and the gas pedal with no brakes. Coffee without a time limit that destroys the quality of deep sleep. And third, we discovered 3 simple ingredients. The cinnamon shield that regulates your glucose, the silent fuel that gives your brain ketones, and the invisible repair that slows caffeine absorption and supports your joints. The choice is yours. You can continue drinking your coffee as usual, feeling that 45-minute peak followed by the same crash, or you can start tomorrow with half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Just that, a small change. It's not a diet. It's not a revolution in your life. It's an adjustment that respects how your body works now. Repeated consistently, it builds results that you will want. I'm not asking you to blindly trust. I'm asking you to try it over 2 weeks, 14 mornings. If after 14 days you don't notice a difference, you haven't lost anything. But if you do, and many men do, you will have discovered something that can change how you experience each day. You have spent your life taking care of everyone else, your family, your job, your responsibilities. Now is the time to take care of yourself, not because you are broken, but because you deserve to wake up each morning with the energy to enjoy the life you have built. If this video gave you a new perspective, leave a like so I know it was helpful. And let me know in the comments which of these 3 mistakes you've recognized, or which of 3 solutions you are going to try first and last. I would love to hear about your experience. Until next time, I'm Carmen Navarro. Stay informed, stay vital, and remember, no kimeana, just the first step to a healthy life like me. Your best years are not behind you. They can start now. You have spent your life taking care of everyone else. Now is the time to take care of yourself. Important note, this video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your diet, supplementation, or lifestyle. Results may vary from person to person.